today's episode, we are with Zainab Nasir.
Zainab Nasir Ahmad, born and brought up in Kano State. I am a human rights activist, a development worker, a social media influencer, and also a young person. Menstrual hygiene is seen as a taboo, but people are neglecting the problem that comes with the issue of menstrual hygiene. The best place to have this kind of conversation is in public, because that is where a father, a teacher, the young people, women, girls, and the stakeholders of the community will get to understand what I am talking about. There are still people that are yet to accept the fact that it's a normal thing to discuss about menstruation. So as a man, you need to support any lady around you, whether she's your sister or your wife or your or even your neighbor, anybody, any lady that you feel she needed this kind of support. It's a duty as a man, as a concerned man, to support her.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Basir. In today's episode, we are with Zainab Nasir. Zainab Nasir is really one of the controversial, but really soft and kind of humanitarian people. Not just because she works in a humanitarian sector, but because she has a heart that is so soft. So Zainab Nasir, for somebody that doesn't know, who is Zainab Nasir?
Okay. My name is Zainab Nasir Ahmad, born and brought up in Kano State. I am a human rights activist, a development worker, a social media influencer, and also a young person.
Young person?
Yes.
You pass 25, right?
Yes.
Are you still young?
Yeah, according to the definition of youth.
Oh.
Yes. The 18 to 29 definition of the Nigerian youth policy.
Okay.
Yes.
So, where does it start?
Actually, it's a long journey. It's not something that started yesterday. I can say I was born with the mind to be what I am becoming now. Because right from my childhood, I am looking up to different kind of people that are doing the kind of work I'm doing now at both global and my community stage. So I aspire to be someone like that. So I started working on it, and here am I.
Yeah, like you are a influencer, as you said, but it started with kind of controversy, because the time that I know you is when you are advocating for part.
Yes.
Girl.
Yes.
And it's become, because it's a sensitive case, it's become so controversial campaign.
Yes.
How did you handle that?
Well, the reason why the campaign became controversial is because it's a sensitive issue. It's not something that is normal to discuss in my community, because discussing about menstrual hygiene is seen as a taboo. But people are neglecting the problem that comes with the issue of menstrual hygiene. So when I started thinking about what to do about it, I said the best thing to do is to break the silence and to create a conversation around the topic so that people will understand why we wanted to do this. So when I started breaking the silence, people started challenging, and it turned out to be a controversial discussion in Kano State and Arewa at large, because people started to think that I wanted to bring something that is a deviation in my community. But as time goes on, you can see how it's become a normal conversation now, because in different organizations, different communities, even the ulamas are discussing about it because they understand the relevance of the discussion. So it's actually challenging till now, because there are still people that are yet to accept the fact that it's a normal thing to discuss about menstruation, especially in public spaces. But to me, I felt the best place to have this kind of conversation is in public, because that is where a father, a teacher, the young people, women, girls, and the stakeholders of the community will get to understand what I am talking about.
Okay, from a male perspective point of view, what do you think I should know about menstrual hygiene?
As a man,
Because I might have a sister,
yes.
wife, friend.
What you need to know is that this is something that is a normal process in every young girl or woman way of life. She had to go through this every month, and she needed some support, both financial and emotional support, anytime she's on her period. And this is the main issue people don't give much concern to, because they feel it's not even something that a lady should cry about, because it's part of her. That's how she is born. Any lady is bound to pass this, but they don't know is some kind. To me, I see it as some kind of an illness per se, because this is something that you must have the anxiety of the pain that you are going to go through. And also, if you are financially handicapped, you don't have the means to take care of yourself, or you don't have the information to take care of yourself, so the consequences that is attached to the issue of menstrual hygiene is something that affect the lives of young girls in different aspects of life, be it health, education, and the way they go about their normal activities. So as a man, you need to support any lady around you, whether she's your sister or your wife or your or even your neighbor, anybody, any lady that you feel she needed this kind of support. It's a duty as a man, as a concerned man, to support her.
I watched a clip of a woman guiding a father, telling him that, okay, he has a teenage daughter, and he says they don't get along.
Yes.
And the first question she asks him, do you know her cycle? He's like, no. So, okay, you can't go along with it, because there are certain times that she's not in a normal sense that she will have discussion with you. But if you can, you will know when to. So, and the one thing I get to learn is the emotional roller coaster women go through during that period. Most of women become more stubborn.
Yes.
On that time. So having saying you will have discussions, you will understand, you think it's not something that we do. So now you are executive director for an organization called Your Space.
Yes.
What is the motivation behind Your Space?
Your Space. Actually, Your Space, I am not the founder of Your Space. Your Space has been in existence for the past 25 years. Last year, we celebrated the 25 years anniversary of Your Space. So basically, Your Space deals with issues that has to do with young people, their well-being, youth, but on societal aspect, their education, their health, their environment, and how they will be shaped to be productive members of the society. So as someone that is passionate about the development of young people, I happen to become the executive director of Your Space. So the motivation is because all the objectives of the organization are aligned with my ambitions and my goals. So is now a platform for me to continue implementing my advocacies and all the sensitizations programs that I've been doing for the past 5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
So if you look in your 5 years in human rights and developmental space, what is the one thing that you say you did that you are proud of?
The issue of this menstrual hygiene. I'm really proud of this project.
Why?
Because it's more like creating a conversation that has gone viral, and people got to accept the fact that menstruation is an issue that needs to be addressed. Yes.
Yeah, when I went to your office, I see you still have a pad.
Exactly. Yes.
So let's talk about peace.
Okay.
I saw you're working on the pace. You even make football competition.
Yes.
To make sure they say police is your friend, but we don't really feel like that.
Yes.
And you make it in a way for people to feel like that, making police play with different organizations. So why do you care about peace?
Okay. Actually, if you look at in Kano State, we are experiencing a huge rate of crime among youth. the issue of porn snatching that has become more like a pandemic in Kano State. And also, if you look at social media where young people are mostly active there, the issue of hate speech, all the fights, people have not been having the kind of peace of mind they need to be having when engaging on social media space or roaming around the street doing their various businesses. So the journey started last year before election, when the state was in a state of tense because of the violent political thuggery that characterized Kano State. So we started to partner with the police, and we held 2 different summits where we engage political parties and we engage young people, and we advocate for them about the importance of peace building and why we need to accept peace in order to have a productive society. And Alhamdulillah, there are a lot of impacts. So we decided that the work should not end there, because after election, what next? We still have these youth. We still have the reports of people not getting peace when they are doing their various activities. The issue of this endeavor everywhere, porn snatching everywhere, and a lot of crimes that are even unreported. So we decided to partner with the police again and do something that will bring young people together and promote unity, peace, understanding, and friendship. And what is that thing? If you come to Kano State, football is a great game that all young people are, either you are playing or you are a supporter. I can say 80%. So we decided to organize this match and identify key youth groups. For example, we identify there are 100 repentant thugs that brought themselves to the police and repented. We started with their team. They are all young people, mostly below 35 years, and also the TikTokers, because if you look at the shape of social media now, all the attention is now on TikTok, and there are so many challenges of violence, fight, and many other things characterized by the platform. So we involve them too, and also the Kannywood. We know how Kannywood, the film industry, has great influence on young people. All the messages that they have been passing, people amplify it and use it as a reference in their day-to-day activities, so they need to be shaped too. We also invite the NUJ, that is journalists, because you know how powerful the media is, and also the Hospice team. As an NGO, that a youth-based organization, we also involve Hospice, and we played the match. The police played with all these groups of people, and anytime we are going to, we play the game, we invited the stakeholders, we invited young people, we targeted so many young people in Kano State, more than 20,000 young people in Kano State, both online and offline. They came and they watched the game, and we passed the idea of peace to them, and we adopt the process of community policing as the best way to engage the community in order to mitigate crime rate in our states.
Yeah, as we're discussing about this crime issue,
yes,
I feel like there's what we call root cause analysis when you're trying to mitigate or solve a problem. What do you think is the root cause that causes insecurity issues?
Unemployment is one of the key issues, because they said an empty mind is a devil workshop, if I said the proverb right. So you see, the issue of unemployment is a great issue that mostly cause people to, especially young people, to engage in this kind of crime, and also the issue of drug abuse, because if Kano is one of the leading states where we have the consumers of drug abuse, and majority of the people that consume drugs are young people. So these are the things that push them to engage in this kind of crime. But we adopt the idea of bringing them together to understand their needs, to understand what they want, and advocate for them to be productive members of the society. We wanted to have a shift, like we discussed with the Commissioner of Police, the current Commissioner of Police in Kano State, CP Muhammad Hussein Gumel, that is not about always arresting and threatening the criminals. Sometimes you need to bring them close to you to understand what they want, what they need, and to shape them and to change their way of thinking. There might be people that can contribute positively to the development of the society, but they don't have the understanding, they don't have the platform, or they don't have the access to the people that can support them to be what they want to be.
Yeah, actually, you get to where I feel like the major thing is our mindset, because
Yes.
you will see a lot of people, you went to markets and
Yeah.
he's leaving and come back.
Yes.
And do like in his mind he's really balanced.
Yes.
Because like in some certain way we have like kind of messages that really trigger people to become violent.
Yes.
So that kind of mindset shift,
Yes.
I feel like is the major things we need, especially in camp,
Exactly.
to help our youth as we are trying to do, to make
Yes.
sure their minds like divert from thinking violence but to thinking how to develop the immediate.
Yes. Exactly.
So after peace, what are the major things that your space is doing?
Okay. Like I said earlier, the whole issue is about making young people productive and fighting infectious disease in general. All forms of infectious disease, yes, health issues.
Like right now, like if I would, because the one thing I am not really aware is statistic when it comes to health. Like what is the statistic of health issues in Kano State?
On what aspect per se? Because we have different health issues in Kano State.
Okay, the one I care mostly is maternal mortality, because I lost my mother due to that.
Yeah, sorry
So,
about that.
Like, have you done something around that?
Yes, we have been partnering partnering with different social and civil society organizations and advocating to different health parastatals, the MDAs and the Ministry of Health, in order to submit our agenda or our memo of what we want the government to do on issues that has to do with maternal mortality.
Yeah, when you say you submit agenda, I realized before election,
Yes.
you have a busy time because you were engaging with stakeholders and
Yes.
politicians.
Yes, the
to make sure
aspirant.
to all the needed knowledge about what is needed.
Yes.
What is like the impact of what you have done right now?
Yes, we did something like that before election, and after election, we had a follow-up. We engaged the Transition Committee on Health in Kano State, and we submitted what we want the governor to do to young people on issues that has to do with health, especially providing youth-friendly services centers across all the 44 local governments in Kano State, because you see young people used to always facing a lot of challenges that has to do with health, but because of the barrier that they have, they don't have access, especially when you talk about the issue of family planning, or because we have the high rate of STIs and STDs among young people. If you look at the statistics, the young people are the ones that are the most vulnerable, because they don't have the platform to seek for advice, support. If you go to the hospital, you cannot ask about, you need guidance and counseling on issues that has to do with your health. So we advocate for something like this to the Transition Committee, and the Transition Committee has passed our message to the current Commissioner of Health, and we are currently waiting for the outcome. We are still following up.
Yeah, but for people
Yes.
that are just listening, maybe STI and SDD,
Yes.
should be like alienated words to them. What is it for?
Yeah, sexual transmission infections.
And sexual.
Yeah, transmission disease.
Okay, so for now, if are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Because relationship is part of something that drive people to do better, to be lagging behind.
Yes.
Do you think relationship issues, you have been heartbroken in a way that is why it's drive you to work harder, or do you have a man behind you that is supporting you to make you work better?
Well, I can say I have a lot of people behind me. My family, my colleagues, my friends, my mentors. I have them all around, and they are supporting and standing by me and giving me advice on do and don't in order to achieve my goals. So it doesn't have to be direct relationship with a man sometimes. If you have the right people behind you, you're going to achieve wonders. Yes.
Right now, if you will advise young people, what will you advise them?
Well, young people need to understand that they don't have limitations. It is their time. Because if you look at all the people that achieve greater things in life, they achieve it when they are young. So they shouldn't wait for government. They shouldn't wait for when they reach certain age before they can make impact on themselves and on their communities. They can start now, and they can start with just anything that has to do with bringing positive change in where they live in.
Okay. Usually the last question we do on this podcast is, if you had to meet one person for a minute or two, that person should be dead or alive. Who would that person be and why?
Barack Obama.
Why?
Because he's a great person, an orator, and also a motivational speaker to me from what I see him. Based on the achievements he had when he was the president of the United States, I always look up to him, always reading his books, and I want to meet him one day.
Wish that dream come true.
Inshallah, thank you.
So, Zainab Nasir, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, if you reach us to this point, it means you have listened to the whole discussion and you get to understand how Zainab Nasir has done a lot of good things to the community that she lives in, and try to make sure that there is a paradigm shift of mindset for a youth in Kano State to make sure that things didn't go as they are, but move to a better Kano State and Nigeria at large. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you in the next episode. Have a good day.